Hello everyone, hope you are good and be happy always. Once again, welcome to Shachi's Academy to the practical classes of managerial economics for BBA, MBA, BA economics and other people who are studying economics in their classes or in their subjects or courses, right? So here we will discuss the law of demand part 1 for managerial economics, and here we will be discussing demand function. For law of demand, I am using this abbreviation LOD because it will save our time, and this is part 1. First, we go through all the concepts over here, we'll practice them in our daily life, and then we will discuss other concepts and move further. Why I am saying that? Because BBA, MBA are all practical courses, and once you do them, you need to understand, you should have the capability to understand the market nuances, dynamics of market, how the business has to be operated, because you have to manage, you become managers and you have to manage the business of other people, or you can start your own business as well. So you need to have the deep understanding of all the concepts of managerial economics, because economics or managerial economics, it's not the subject. It's a practice in your daily life that you go through, that you experience in your daily life. Why? Because the another name for your managerial economics or economics is your household management. So managerial economics is nothing but daily practice for business people, managers, CEOs and other people or the producers who practice it in daily life. So we will start with our demand function. What is demand function? As the term stands, demand function, that is how does it operate and what are the variables that are included in it. Okay, so DF or the demand function, we are again using the abbreviated form here. The demand function explains the relationship. It's a relationship between what? Between the demand for a commodity and the factors determining demand. Here, demand for a commodity. Any demand, any commodity of the world which you can see in the market and purchase that. Here, demand function will operate on that. That means whenever you see a commodity, there are certain variables who are always at operation or who function to affect the demand of that particular commodity. Here, dx. Here, many students or people get disturbed with this x. They simply mug it up and write in exams, but this is not proper. You need to understand this x. X is any commodity in the world. You can keep here biscuit, you can keep here camera, you can keep here clothes, Maggie, any other thing of the world which you can see and purchase in the market. So here it is any commodity or the commodity that is in question you are talking about. Suppose I am discussing about camera. You have to purchase a camera or a marker. We can say you have to purchase a marker. Okay. So here we can say demand for markers. Okay. Or if you want to purchase camera, then we can write demand for camera. If you want to purchase fruits, demand for fruits. So this fruits, camera, marker. Everything is X here. Every commodity of the world here can be denoted as X. So X is what? X is any commodity that is in question in your topic. Okay. So here it is function, F for function of what? Px. Here you can see this is X commodity, then price of X commodity. If you say price demand for camera, then here price of camera will come here. If you said demand for fruits, then price of fruits will come here. If you say demand for marker, then price of marker will be in question over here. So demand of X, that means price of X, right? These two are very much related. These are the same. You can say this is demand for a commodity and this is price for the same commodity. Here dx and px, they are very much related. Okay, they are direct, you can say inversely related, but they have a very deep connection amongst them. Okay, then next is PR, price of related goods, goods which are related. Suppose I use the camera of Canon, then we have the camera of Sony, then we have camera of other companies as well. So here cameras of different companies are related together or not, because we will consider the price of other cameras as well. Similarly, we have different brands of marker, we have different types and variety of fruits over here. The price of all these commodities, the similar type of commodities are related. Say for example, different brands of biscuit, different brands of car, different brands of clothes, different brands of television sets, different brands of computers, everything like that. So here price of related goods. Similar type of commodities which we can use in place of one another. Suppose we can eat a biscuit of one brand or the other. It doesn't make a lot of difference. We can also use cookies which are sold in market. So cookies, biscuits, etc. are all related. Okay. Then why? Y stands for income. Here we are not using I for income because in economics or say managerial economics and other subjects we use I for investment. So here Y is used a symbol for income. So income of a person also affects the demand in question of a particular commodity. Then we have T for taste and preferences. If you don't possess taste for any particular commodity, you won't be purchasing it. So taste is at most important for any commodity. If I don't like coffee, I will not purchase it. If I don't like biscuits, I will not buy them in the market. If I don't like noodles, though I like them, but if I don't like, in case I don't like them, I will not give my money for purchase of that particular commodity. So taste is very much important when you purchase any commodity. Okay, then come to the law of demand. I hope this is understood by you and you can see that in market. What are things which you keep in mind or which affect your demand when you purchase any commodity in the market. Then comes law of demand. Here we are studying the law of demand part 1. So law of demand starts over here. LOD is the abbreviation I will be using throughout this explanation. So keep it in mind, LOD means law of demand, LOD. Okay, so law of demand is the relationship between price and the quantity demanded. If you have to state law of demand in simplest form, then this is the line or this is the sentence or the statement we can use, that is law of demand is the relationship between price and the quantity demanded of any particular commodity. Anything, camera, marker, fruits, vegetables, mirrors, doors, windows, curtains, anything in the world which you can see and purchase in the market. Then comes your definition of law of demand. Once you have to define this law of demand, you need to keep in mind that you don't have to use particularly your own language. You can just write the language that is given in books. Why? I am telling you, because it is more in a form of a quotation or in a bookish form it will be particularly right. Otherwise, if you can frame the language that is correct, then you can use that in your own language also. But if you're not thorough in grammar, then you can use definitions which are given in book. So that is your choice and capability what you can use. Okay. So before discussing law of demand, I need to discuss one thing. If you see this illustration over here, what I have done, I have done PD, 2 times, twice we are in PD. Okay, you write this. Before defining this, if you are not thorough with the statement, then for defining PD we have written. Then arrows which are moving towards one another, we have just put them here. So this is the arrow and both the arrows are moving towards one another. Okay, then next to it, next to D, we have drawn the arrows which are moving away from one another. Why? Because this will explain your law of demand. How? You can see here that when price falls, normally price is considered as the most important phenomena. Why? We will discuss this for a while. For 1 minute we can devote that. Here, have you ever seen sales? Have you ever viewed Shin-chan, the cartoon series which normally toddlers watch? Even I love it, watching many times. I watch with my younger son. So what happens there? Mitzi Nohara, who is the mother of Shin-chan, she goes to the sales, particularly sales, and many women just flock together and go in sales and just they mindlessly keep on purchasing one thing after another, one thing after another. You might have also experienced similar instances while you shop online, while you go for sales. Here what happens, then price, when you see the price has been reduced, you impulsively indulge yourself in purchasing one thing after another. Why? Because we have a human tendency, humans have limited amount of money and they want to purchase commodities in large number. But the price of the commodities, if they are high, they prevent a person from purchasing large number of commodities. But in sales, what happens? We can purchase large amount of commodities, large number of commodities with the help of smaller amount of money, by giving a smaller amount of money. So what happens over there? We mindlessly indulge ourselves in purchase of that commodity, and many times when we return from shopping, we see that at least 4 to 5 items are such that we do not use them at all or we need them at all. But the illusion created by reduction in price plays have our mindset and we tend to purchase more commodities. What does it mean? That when price gets reduced, we tend to purchase more. This is human behavior. So that is the same thing that has been displayed in law of demand. So there's nothing new in law of demand. It's a daily practice. Understand one thing over here. See, economics is not a subject, microeconomics is not a subject, and macroeconomics is not a subject at all. They are the practices which we keep on doing in our day-to-day life. Because economics was first of all that emerged as a discipline which was for household management. That means how to manage your house, how to manage your income, how to spend it on the commodities or heads, which we can, which with the help of which we can have maximum satisfaction. That means how to manage your house, how to manage your life, how to manage your expenditure. That is basically economics, and that is our day-to-day practice. So what happens is the same scenario over here. When price falls, demand increases. Why? Because people purchase larger number of commodities when their prices decrease. So same thing is over here. Here price is decreasing. When price decreases, demand increases. And in the second case, here we have when price increases, demand decreases. Finish. This is law of demand. This simple illustration is the law of demand. You can write in your own language also, or otherwise the language is over here. Other things being equal. This is the first line that should be mentioned in a definition. Why? Other things being equal means these things. Price of related goods should be equal. Income should be stable. Taste and preferences should be stable. Why? Because if your taste changes, you will not demand that commodity. You will not purchase that commodity in question. If your income changes, you may shift to some purchase of some other commodity, maybe expensive one. If I am purchasing clothes from a roadside vendor or from some small shop, if my income increases twice or thrice or more than that, then I will not tend to purchase my attire or my clothes from that roadside shop or vendor. I may go to some very big mall or big shop and I can purchase expensive clothes. So that means with an increase in income, we tend to purchase expensive items. So law of demand is not operating in this case. That means your income should be stable at whatever it was existing, at the existing level. Okay. Then price of related goods. Suppose price of related goods, that means if we are purchasing camera of Canon, if price of camera of Sony falls, then we will not purchase Canon. We may purchase Sony. That means price of related goods should remain stable or maybe at the existing level only. Okay. Then other things being equal means only price should change. Other things should not change. What means? Only price should increase or decrease. Other things should remain stable. You have to keep this thing in mind while discussing or writing the definition of law of demand. So here, other things being equal, if the price of a commodity, any commodity, here we are considered about camera, so price of camera, if it falls, the quantity demanded of camera, suppose, rises. That means price, if price of commodity falls, quantity demanded increases. This was the illustration over here then. And if the price of a commodity rises, if price is rising, that means arrow is moving upwards, that means rising, it rises, its quantity demanded will decline. So this is the illustration. Here demand will decrease or decline. That means it will fall down. Okay. So I hope this is understood by you. Next. Assumptions of law of demand. What are the assumptions or the conditions under which this law of demand will operate? Otherwise, it will not operate. If these conditions are not fulfilled, these 8 conditions are not fulfilled, your law of demand will not operate in any case. Okay. So number 1. What is the assumption? No change in income. See, assumptions are nothing but the other variables which affect your demand. The other things being equal. This is the same thing. These things, that means other things are these things which should remain stable. Equal means stable over here. In the pre-existing state, they should remain likewise only. Okay. So here number 1 is no change in income. Here, no change in income. Your income should not vary or it should not increase or decrease. If it decreases, that you will not purchase. If it increases, you may shift to some other commodity. You may purchase some higher level or higher brand of camera or maybe of higher configuration. You may purchase a camera which is of low configuration, otherwise you will move to some other configuration. Or basically you can say, if you were having lower income previously and now you suppose your income increases, then you will shift to good brand of biscuits, or you will go to good bakery and you will purchase biscuits from there. Okay, then no changing taste and preferences. Your taste should not change. If until today morning I was having biscuits and cake very nicely, or I was loving them to eat, but in the afternoon or in the evening I say I don't like them at all, so your taste should not change. It should remain, it should not vary, it should remain stable. Then no change in price of related goods. I told you before also, related goods price should not change, it should remain stable. The commodity in question is normal. It should be a normal commodity which can be purchased by people very easily. It is not an antique item at all. It should not be something that's unique in any sense. That it's a normal commodity which can be purchased by everyone who is having money in the market. So it is a normal commodity like marker, pen, or any curtain, computer, anything like that. But it should not be antique, like any painting from Mughal era, any painting or any idol from South India which is thousands and thousands of year old, or any thing from Mohenjo-daro excavations that is unique in itself and that will sell at a very high price, and higher the price, more will be demand. That means they defy the law of demand. That in that case, demand or a law of demand is not operative. So you will not consider any unique commodity. That is, no antique items are involved over here. Only normal commodities are considered to be in question. Okay. No change in the size of population. Your population size should not increase. If the size of population increases, that means demand will increase at the same price as well. At higher price also people will purchase. Okay. Demand will increase at the same price. So that is not the case. So here population should not increase. It should remain. Suppose there are 10 people in your classroom and they are going to purchase a burger. They should remain 10 when you are speaking or talking or discussing about law of demand. Okay. Distribution of wealth and income should be equal. Here what does it mean? That means distribution of wealth and income doesn't mean that all the rich people will be giving their wealth to poor people, or people who are living in middle class strata of society, but it means people should have decent living. They should have at least decent standard of living, and they should have that much amount of money that they can fulfill all their demands which are required. That means they should have good education, good food, and good living should be there. So people should have a decent living. That means equitable distribution of income and wealth in society. That means poor should not become more poor and rich should not become richer and richer. That means taxation and subsidies should be maintained in a manner which means that people in a country have a decent or good living standard. Okay, then continuous demand should exist. Continuous demand, that means demand should move in a flow. Every day if a shop is selling 10 to 20 items, that demand should move in that range, and it should not fall below 2 or 3 items, or maybe it should not increase. Like on one day, on one Monday you are selling 250 items, on other days of the week you are not selling even single item. That doesn't mean good, and that means continuous demand should exist over there. There should be perfect competition in the market. What is perfect competition? Perfect competition in the market where all the commodities which are sold in the market are homogeneous, they are sold at the same price, and none of the consumers and producers are powerful enough to affect the price. Though this is explained in your books, but perfect competition is not the market that can be seen in your real life. However, markets like we witness in our day-to-day scene, they are nearly perfect competitive market. Why? Because we have commodities which are not homogeneous. Although they are not homogeneous, but they are related and they are nearly perfect substitutes of one another. Say for example, soap, bathing bars, you can say soaps which we use in Indian markets. They are nearly perfect substitutes of one another. They give you leather, that foam is same. They are almost same. I don't consider them to be different from one another, though I don't use soap much, but shampoos too are all the more same. And then you can see the biscuits and cookies, they are a puff brand, or you can see a category of biscuits are there. Cookies, they are almost same, not much differences there. They fulfill your stomach, and the person like me, to me these things are almost same, so we can say they are perfectly competitive market. So the commodities over here are nearly perfect substitutes. Say tea and coffee, cold beverages, that means and fruit drinks you can say, or you can say the soft drinks, cold drinks, you can say they are almost same. You can have one or the another. It doesn't make much difference. So they are nearly perfect commodities. So we don't have perfect competition market in our real life, but we have monopolistic market. Here, things that are sold in market are nearly perfect substitutes of one another. They are nearly sold at the same price, maybe 10 to 20 paisa difference is there, but they are nearly sold at the same price. Okay. So these are the conditions or assumptions which need to be present when we discuss our law of demand, and it is operative only when these things are there. That means to understand law of demand, you have to keep other things being equal. Yeah, other things being equal. That means you have to stabilize or keep other things aside when you discuss law of demand. Why? Because price is the most important factor that affects your demand, and that we discuss in our law of demand. So law of demand is what? When price falls, demand rises, and when price rises, demand falls. Simple. When price falls, you can say fall, demand rises. Here, sorry. Demand rises. Prices falling. FR. Okay. When price rises, demand falls. So FR, RF. Okay. PD, FR, RF. This is your whole illustration of law of demand. I hope you might have got a glimpse of your market. After discussing this, we can say that next time when you go to the market, just observe these factors. Think about yourself, discuss this thing, and write in your register what are the things that affect your demand in the market, what are the things you purchase in the market. When you go to the market, what are the factors that are affecting you, what comes into your mind, how sales are done, how you behave during when there are sales. So these are all the factors you keep in mind, and in this manner you will become good managers in future, and you will lead India towards development. Thank you so much. Take care, and thanks for liking, subscribing and sharing my videos, because very good reviews are coming for my videos and people are demanding more and more videos. Thanks for sharing this much of love on my channel, and thanks for loving, caring, subscribing and liking and sharing my videos. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Take care.